Hello. So in this video I'm going to talk about battle reports and more so what kind of things you can see in a battle report, because this is something I have had a few questions from especially newer players. So let's get started. And if you look at the front page of the battle report, what you can see at the top, you can see the attacker, the army size, and then the defender, and how many troops were lost in that battle. When we move a little bit down, then you can see all the commanders, and when you hover over them, you can see what kind of abilities those commanders have, and also what their awakening level is based on the stars. And below the commanders, you can see the weapons that have been equipped on them, and when you hover over them, you can see what kind of stats have been rerolled in which weapon. And this can provide some pretty useful information for you when you're looking to see what was happening in the fight. Then there is obviously the troops, what troops were being used and what amounts of them were in play. And finally there are the dragons, and here when you hover over, you can see the dragon stats and also the skills that have been equipped on that certain dragon. And now, because this is a rebel group I attacked, the report is looking a little bit funny in some portions. Then also it's important to note that here in the middle is a button, and when you click on it, it gives you a more detailed information what was going on in this report. So if we look at the report, you can see that troop normal attack and also commander active army skill was doing majority of the damage in this fight. There was no weakness attack at all, because my lineup here did not have any weakness commanders. And commander awakening damage is, for example, Cersei awakening skill, which can deal commander awakening damage. So here you can see the damage spread, what was going on in the report. When we move over to the bonus section, here you can see the stats that were in play on both sides. And what is important here, you can click on this exclamation mark, which opens up a new page, and in here you can clearly see what affected your stats and in which way, so you can better improve your stats if that's what you're looking for. When we go down, here you can see is the weapons base attack, what has been added into it, and you can see here is cavalry, and infantry base attack has been raised, but my weapons don't have any spear or bowman base attack. When we go a little bit more down, here you can see the counter reductions that were in play, and because all these numbers here are equal, it means there was no reductions at all. But on the other side you can see, for example, spearmen versus cavalry is not 200%, but it's 180%. So it means that my weapons have provided me, or commanders have provided me, some counter reduction. And lastly, when we go all the way down, here you can see all the dragon skills that were in play, and if you hover over the exclamation mark, you can see how much stats it's giving you in that particular fight. When we go on to the statistics portion, here you can see basically what troops were in play, and now because this is solo attack, you can only see my army here and the enemy army. But let's say if this was a rally, then you can expand the menu in here, and you can see all the troops that were participated in that particular attack. And lastly, we have the battle record page. And here when you click on the yellow arrow, it will expand all the categories, and in here you can get extremely detailed information what has happened in the fight. And when we go all the way down, here is the end page of the battle, and in here you can check what has actually happened. So at the top you can see I lost this much cavalry, and dragon reinforcement skill offset 60,000 of my casualties. The enemy lost 505,000 infantries, and with certain effects such as Annie's awakening skill, some enemies were directly killed, so they would not go to hospital but get killed instead. Then we have the actual loss on both sides, and what determines which side is going to win the fight is which one has less casualties. So because the enemy has less casualties, that means the enemy won the fight. And then there is Blessings of the Seven, which heals in this type of fight all the troops, and then the rerouted troops are being summoned back into the fight. You can also see the casualty rate, hospital capacity, and all other important information in here. So basically that's how you read the battle report. And now the last thing I wanted to showcase is, as you can see in here, active army skill was one of the major damage sources in this fight, and it is because I have the female setup in here. In the next report I added Jamie and Enzo, which allows me to do weakness attacks in this scenario, and when we expand the menu you can see now weakness attack has done the majority of damage in this fight. And active army skill is still there because commanders are still using their active army skills, and also they are still using their normal attacks. And in the last report I have the bleed setup, the Poorman version, and if you expand in here, now you can see there is no weakness attack at all because Jamie is not in play and Sinara is preventing weakness attacks. Also there is zero active army skill because Sinara is preventing commanders from using their active army skill. Instead, the troop normal attack is the major damage source, and also commander awakening damage is in play in here because of Freya's awakening skill. So basically that's all the information you can see by reading the battle reports, and it may provide you answers why you lost or won some of the fights. So this is certainly helpful to know when you're looking at your battle reports. That's everything for this time. See you in the next video.